See, usually suicide is basically a call for help. So anybody who is under some kind of distress because of some reason, and when they don't think that there is a way out, that's the kind of last resort for them.
So
So in this age group, it may be many things. It could be something related to the academics, the studies, or with the peers, the other students that they are studying with, their friendship with them, or their breakups with them. Or it could be other things that many times kids feel that they are not accepted by the others who are around them, and they feel kind of neglected or ignored. That can also be a cause for stress. So there can be multiple reasons for this. See, the first thing is that we need to realize that these kids, they need to be sensitized. What's happening is nobody talks about these issues with them. So it's kind of understood that they will handle it on their own, which is quite difficult for most of the kids. Some of them they can do it, but for most it's a big challenge. So the one thing that we need to do is we need to talk to the children as a routine. We should make it part of their curriculum or part of their one of the classes that they have, where they are told that what it means to have friends, what it means to have uh, good relations with their peers, in spite of them not being their friends. What is it that is okay and acceptable, and when is it that they should say no? When they should put their foot down and tell the other person that no, I don't accept this. You can't treat me like this. So they need to be told about these things. And second is about communication. The kid should be comfortable talking about what they are feeling, what they are experiencing, and for that they need to have trust in their parents or teachers or maybe their siblings. So that trust needs to be created so that they feel free, so that whenever something happens to them, they can come back to these people and they are free to talk about it. See, I won't say that it's ignored. What's happening is that the way parenting used to happen maybe a few years back, the same way probably is not applicable as of today. So parents, what they think is that this is a phase and every kid has to go through it and they'll grow out of it. But the kind of lifestyle our kids are having these days is way different. The kind of challenges they have to meet, the kind of pressures they have to handle is very different. So what it means is that for them it's kind of not being taken care of what is important for them, and that is a very common reason why these things they come to surface for some of the kids and it eventually leads to suicidal attempts. Yeah, so having counselors in schools is a good idea, but the problem is the norm says that there has to be one counselor per school. And how can you expect one person to know thousands of children in a school? So what happens is, since the person is dealing with so many kids, that personal rapport is not there with most of the kids, and that's why this relation with the counselor becomes practically ineffective. So unless you are having very obvious manifestations in your behavior that kind of make you stand out from others, you kind of get unnoticed, and the kids are not comfortable talking to these counselors as well. So we need to have adequate number of counselors, and second, we need to ensure that these counselors are kind of qualified. They are they have been trained properly, adequately to handle kids of this age group. Because if they are not appropriately trained, then it's very likely that they might not be aware of the right technique of doing the things. So that again is very important. We ensure that they are qualified, they are credentialed, and they periodically update their skills and knowledge. See, pressure from parents and teachers, the expectations has always been a common reason. But these days, what's happening is this acceptance or lack of acceptance by the peer group is a very common reason for stress because of this increased social media and increased connectivity among people through this internet and all. Many of the kids they feel left out if they are not part of the core group, and that again is a very common reason that they feel neglected and ignored. It's primarily the difference of temperament. I mean, some kids they are able to handle stress better than others. They are able to make friends easily. They are better at sharing things. Others are not that good at doing these things. So primarily that's the reason. Also, the kind of support system kids have that also varies quite a bit. So that could be another reason. So it has come to the forefront these days, and we are talking more about the same. And that's why we are kind of more aware of these things these days. And see, for any problem, there are plenty of factors and reasons that contribute. In our experience, we have seen students from all kind of social groups, all kind of economic groups to have experienced stressors. The nature of stressors that changes, the intensity can change, but I can't say that one particular socioeconomic group is immune to these stresses. Everybody is facing these challenges, maybe to a different extent and maybe of different nature. One single thing, if you would have asked me, I would say that we should encourage these kids to talk to others. Others would be anybody whom they feel comfortable talking to. Because what happens at times is that because of these stresses, you go into your shell and you don't communicate to anybody. And then it looks, one single suggestion would be they should speak to people who matter to them.